So today I'm gonna be telling you some things that I love about living in China. Let's get right into this video. The first thing that I love about living in China is the safety. I can go to the bank, I can walk around in public places, and I can do this by myself. I don't always need company with me, and that's something that took a while for me to get used to when I first came up here, because not everywhere in the world is like that. I really like that I can also take taxis by myself. And you know that gut feeling that you have that something is wrong? I've never really gotten that up here. It's crazy, right? But it's the truth. Coming from Jamaica, it has always been taught to me that I should be aware of my surroundings, which I still am. Of course, I have to be. I'm a female. At first, when I came up here, I was really on edge with everything. Just, basically what I've been used to growing up, always alert and everything, so it took some getting used to, but I feel like now I'm a bit more relaxed. But then again, I'm still very careful. Something else that I've noticed is that in China you have cameras everywhere, every street, in taxis, every public place, and they're up to date and they're always working. So I believe that probably that's why safety isn't really an issue here. Everything is being monitored, and that's why I think a lot of out-of-pocket things don't happen, literally. We pay for most things from our phones, and I think that the apps that we use to pay, like Alipay or WeChat, I know that they're pretty secure, so you don't have to worry about anyone hacking into them or anything like that. Also, refunds work pretty smoothly up here. I have never had an issue with refunding items like clothing or like even plants. Almost every item here has a barcode, but the people who are in the country also have barcodes from our apps. So for example, I want to purchase something from a vendor. She has her own personal barcode, and I'd scan hers and I could send her money, but she would want to buy something from me, she could scan my code, and that's how we can exchange money, and it makes life so much easier, I'm telling you. I have a story for you guys. So when I first came up here, I went to an arcade with a bunch of friends. It was so fun. I brought my bag with like my purse and all my cards in there, and I forgot my bag on one of those little like games that I was playing, and I started freaking out because in my head everything must be gone, my money must be gone. Or I went to check the spot where it was and it was not there. I had to go to the camera room and try to let it play like the time that I was there, but then someone brought it up to the counter and I got it back. There are other instances where people I know have lost phones and other things on the road. They would literally run after you and give it back to you. That's something that I really like. Something else that I love about living here is the transportation, okay? The transportation here is very convenient. So a lot of people like taking the metro. The metro in my city has 4 lines. You have line 1, 2, 3, and 5. I think that they're building line 4, but if you watch my vlogs and you keep up with them, you'd realize that I show them pretty often, right? They move pretty fast. It tends to get really crowded in the evenings though, and even in the mornings, because people are trying to go to work and people are trying to leave work. When you go there, you see like really long lines of people, and they're all lining up at the ticket booth to get their tickets to go on a train. But you can avoid all of this with an app that I love using, and it's called the Metro Daohui, and it's right beside Dajang Dianping. It's right here. This app is very convenient because, as I said before, the barcodes and everything. The barcode would usually come right here, and on the gate for the entrance have like the little barcode scanning thing. So you just walk and you scan your barcode and you can just go right onto the train. So it saves you a lot of time. I love that it's very easy to get a taxi here. Like you'd see a taxi passing you like every 3 minutes or every 2 minutes. And they have different kinds of taxis here. I'm only familiar with 2. So you have the green taxis. Those are the regular taxis that run back and forth. You go in them and you pay normally. And you have a type of taxi called Didi. Now with Didi, it's very similar to Uber, and so that's also convenient if you're in an area where you haven't seen the green taxi and you really want to get somewhere. What I like also with the payment, a lot of countries, for example, 7 people are in a car, the fare is $100. Each of those 7 persons would pay $100, right? But up here, the same 7 persons are in the car. Everybody will come together and the fare would be $100 instead of paying it individually. So what a lot of people like to do is to group up in the cars and say, for example, one person pays the $100. Then when we come out, we just split the fare, and it's way easier and it saves money. Also, if you want to leave the city, you can take a fast train or a slow train depending on your budget. The fast trains are pretty fast and they get you where you want to go in a short amount of time. For example, to go to Nanjing from my city, it takes about half an hour or 40 minutes, and to go to Shanghai it's like an hour and 20 minutes, I think. People who want to go to Beijing but on a budget, they like to take the slow train. On the slow train, you can choose whether you want to have like a regular seat, or you can choose to have a little area where they have bunk beds. So you can choose like if you want to sleep on the top, and they have an area where they sell food inside of the train. But it's also recommended that you bring your own food. Something else that I really love transportation wise is that they have bikes. They have bikes everywhere. You can use Alipay to scan. They have their own kinds of bikes, and those are the blue ones. I think you have like 4 categories of the hello bikes. That's what they call them. The first category would be the slowest, which is a bicycle. You pay 2 yuan to go where you want to go around the city. And next category is a little bit faster than a bicycle. It's still a bicycle, but if you don't want to pedal, it's like electric, but it's not really that fast, probably like 10 miles per hour or so. The third category is a moped. They also just came out with a next category, which is still a moped, but it looks a bit different than the one previously. So, and also you can use other apps to scan other bikes because they're all color coded, but I'm not sure of the names of the other bikes, to be honest. So also they have zones around the city that you'd park them in, so you don't really have to worry about bringing them back to the starting point. So, yeah, I really love that it's normalized, like especially where I am from, people aren't riding bicycles around the place or bikes. But I believe that because China is so populated, not everyone can have cars to move around, and so the bicycles and the bikes are more convenient. Something else that I really love about China is the culture. They try to bring their culture into anything that they're trying to do. I see that they're really trying to preserve it. Even though I think nowadays it's less practiced. I know that the older generations are trying to teach the younger ones the culture. I like seeing them wear their traditional wear, and they're not ashamed to wear it. They wear it proudly. They look so confident. They look so beautiful. Even on school trips that they bring us, along the way they like to teach us different things. Even days before we go on the trip, we had workshops, like we learned calligraphy, we learned Chinese tea culture and etiquette. We learned about the cuisine, and they actually brought us there and taught us while giving us the food, and it was really good. They plan out everything really well. Something else that I love seeing is the family orientation. I love how they treat one another. I love how they treat their elders and they respect them. And I like seeing the grandchildren, like the grandparents always have like the children. They always bring the grandchildren along, and it's so cute to see them in the parks and just on the road and just spending like quality time with them. I really love that. Relationship wise, oh my gosh, like they love PDA and they're so affectionate. You would even believe how much. But it's really cute. I see them doing grand gestures and really sweet things. That they're not scared to bring their handbags and stuff or to do anything that the girlfriend, I think, requests. They buy them flowers all the time. They're just always there around them. Really lovable people. I love that during holidays, they make it a family time. Yes, you know, during holidays, people like to rest, but they like to come together as a family and do things and eat different types of food and just use up all the time that they can with spending with their loved ones. They put extra effort into ensuring that their kids have a proper education, even if they didn't grow up having one themselves. You know, they really try. And to the convenience of shopping. So a lot of people think that everything here is cheap, and while I do agree to most things, like for example vegetables and fruit, vegetables and fruits are very affordable up here. It's usually in other countries, those are the things that are a bit more expensive. I also love that there are like flower shops everywhere, like on different streets. And they have like plazas and malls for very specific things, like you have a PC mall. You can get your gadgets and stuff. There's this area up here that sells only pots and pans, and you have this area, you have a bike mark, a art street, you have different things. So if you want something specific, you can just find that area. Oh, you also have an appliance market somewhere nearby. They have many shopping apps, and I mean many, but the main ones that I know about are Pinduoduo, Taobao, and you can buy things on Alipay as well, but Pinduoduo, Taobao are the ones that I use the most. And something cool about using each of those apps is that, say for example you're on Pinterest scrolling and you see a specific outfit and like, oh my gosh, I'm in China. It's not like I can use Amazon right now to get it in a couple of days. So what you can actually do is like screenshot that picture and picture search it, and I bet you're going to find it in Taobao, I bet you, or Pinduoduo. Also, I really like the fact that takeout is like really convenient. Like they give you a time that they come. Say for example they'd be here at like 2 p.m. Most of the times they'll come before 2 p.m. I love that. They drive really fast. So the bike people, oh my gosh. It's like a life and death situation the way how they're driving on the road, but they get your food delivered. I really like also the quality clothing that they sell. Just know that the quality of clothing here, especially in stores, are really good quality clothes. I love how they take care of their environment, especially in the country areas. But coming up here, I wasn't sure of the type of environment China would have. But just being here for even a couple of days, I realized that they're always having someone cleaning up on the roads, in schools and stuff, and that's something that I really like that they have in place. And usually you'd see like the older people doing these jobs. It's not like the young people, it's like the grandmas, the grandpas. And when I first came up here, someone I know was like, why would they let the old people do all the work? But I feel like because they keep moving and like have something to do every day, and they have other people with them that you can talk to, I feel like that adds to their quality of life and the longevity of their life, because they do live pretty long. But yeah, I feel like it keeps them going and it keeps them happy and stuff, and paid. So the roads are pretty clean, and you can find garbage bins on every street. And they take a lot of pride in their parks. And if you're a plant person like me, you can find interesting things. If you come to China not really being a plant person, I bet you by the time you leave you might consider buying a plant, because it's just everywhere. Plants here are really cheap, and they also find a way how to make you curious about plants. Like for example, they had this booth in Cosmo where people could actually like smell different kind of plants that had like aroma and learn more about them, and they're just like things that like would draw your attention. I love that. Even on the streets or on the roads, you'd find that in the middle of the road they have like lanes of roses. Right now they have roses. It's really pretty. It's really nice. Something else that I really love is the friendliness of the locals. Guys, the locals here, oh my goodness, they are so friendly. Really common for when you get invited to someone's home, especially a Chinese person, they'd offer you tea. Or if you just go to a store and you make friends with them, that's something that they love to do to show their hospitality. And it's actually offensive if you refuse. Like they take it quite personally, I realize. But overall, they're very welcoming people and they're really nice. And I realize that they get comfortable with you pretty easily. Even though they might be shy, but once they feel comfortable enough to approach you. Oh, you guys are best friends.
Hello. Ni hao.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been offered cake, I've been offered drinks, I've been offered money, trips, a duck. Oh my god, I'm a duck mother. Dinner, they're just really big on gift giving. That's something that I realized, that they love to pay for things, they love to treat their friends, and they love to treat foreigners as well. And they'd always try to make conversation, and they're always like, when they see me on the road and say for example it's the first time they've seen an international in a while, they're like they'll be like, "Why Warren?" That means foreigner. And I mean, at first it's weird. I mean, it's still kind of weird to me, but it's something that you get used to after a while. I love that the place is very peaceful, and they take time to wind down in the evenings and in the mornings as well. They're really big on physical education, so in the mornings you see them getting up like at 5 a.m. doing laps, and I don't mean like 10 people, I mean like a good amount of people are exercising in the mornings. In the evenings, the old people are exercising, the young people, the business people, when they get off from work, they do a couple laps. It's interesting because they have different forms of exercise. One that I saw in the park, I don't know if this is to be considered exercise, or if you know more about it you can also like leave more information. But when they're in the parks, they're like, there's this big tree and this guy was there and he was like hitting his hand against the tree, and him back he must have run up into the tree. Like, and at first I was really scared because I'm like, oh my gosh, might kill off himself. Like, I look up himself and just run up into the tree. But I guess it helps like with blood circulation or something. And they're really like, oh my gosh, they're so chill. I like to see them playing a little instruments in the evening, and they're playing the little games, especially the old people in the parks. Oh my gosh, they're singing, they're dancing, and I love just jumping in and dancing with them too. Like when I see them there and I'm having like a down day, or even when I'm happy, I just fall in line and just dance with them, and they don't mind. They're really friendly, as I said before, and they love it. Hey, no man, some bad moves are going it, and I love it too. I really love the work ethic of the Chinese people here. They take their work very seriously. They take their schoolwork very seriously, and also studying. I bet you every night there'd be like at least 50 students studying at a library, at least. They're very consistent as well with anything that they're doing. And for example, even building like those giant buildings that you see. There's a building outside of my school, and they started building some new stuff like 4 months ago. If you go around there right now, they have like at least 7 big buildings right now. They did that in less than 5 months already. I have to applaud them for that. Something else, even though it's a bit like small, but I noticed a lot of things. I really like that when you're going on the road and say for example you didn't bring your charger or your power bank, you can actually find areas that you could rent power banks. So I know that most of them start off at like 2 yuan per hour or 3 yuan, and so when you scan the code and you take the power bank, you can walk around, do your business, and then when you finish, your phone is sufficiently charged, you can bring it back to that bin and you're good to go. We'll just take the money from your account. When I first came up here, I didn't have my charger with me, and they actually had a store nearby on Cosmo that had the charging ports for free, so that's something that I really like. I love the food. You might have been wondering, why didn't I talk about the food sooner? But I really love the food. I like trying new things. Different provinces have different foods that they love to make. Some places in China, they really prefer spicy food, and some places like really salty food. Some people like really sweet food. Some provinces like very oily food. I love that you can find different cuisines in Hanoi as well. Like I love Sichuan cuisine. There's this store that I really love going to buy noodles. They sell Sichuan style. It is hot. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, I think I put it at a 9 out of 10. How spicy it is. And on top of that, I asked for chili, like more chili. I have a bit of an obsession with noodles, but they have different styles. They prepare them in different ways. They have different types of noodles and stuff. And you can also find Japanese cuisine, Mexican food up here, and other things. So if you're not really into just Chinese cuisine, you can also find other things. And I love street food. I love street food, and many streets you have like lanes of like people selling things. Around Westgate they had a lane of people selling different kinds of street food, but they shut it down recently. And even at night times, like outside in the malls and stuff, you see the vendors coming out and they sell different things. I love that you don't really need a lot of money here. Like say for example, it's one of those weeks that you're low on cash, you can go out and I bet you can get like a full experience for just 21. Like go around the city and come back. That's if you eat food back at home or something. But still, like as I said, transportation is very convenient. There are a lot of free experiences that you can take advantage here, and you can also bargain to get the prices down. I've done that a lot. So for example, you see a specific shoe or something and they're selling it for like 300 yuan, you can bargain and get it down for even 200 if you're good at it. So it's something that you can always like practice. I love that I can just be myself. Like I don't have to worry about people judging me or just feeling out of place, even though I am black. But I really love that they take care of themselves and it's very normalized, so it doesn't look weird when I'm like treating myself or spending money on myself or spending alone time with myself. And I really love also the nightlife. I'm pretty sure you've seen images of like the street lights and stuff. So most buildings have like neon LED lights on them and stuff, and even on the roads. So at night when I turn everything on, it's so pretty. I just love it. I just love being outside, but I love being outside at night. And they have these LED lights also at parks. So you know, like when you have the little pond and the bridge and you know their type of architecture, and you see the LED lights kind of forming out for the shape of the buildings or the bridges and stuff. It's really pretty. Like it's really pretty. Those are some things that I love about China. I might have to do a part 2 because there's so much things that I do love about being here. And also I'm gonna have to be doing a cons. So these are the pros, basically the things that I love and like, but I'm gonna tell you the things that I don't like in the next video, so stay tuned for that. So thank you guys for watching. You know, I hope you made it to the end of this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.